how important it is to have early childhood education as part of the comprehensive preparation of the workforce of the future, if nothing else. It's a moral imperative to get it right early, but it's also important for the future of business. I think that there's a broader understanding of that among the private sector than people realize.
Okay, one more. Mandeep.
Thanks. Mandeep from Togetherville. As a parent of 3 kids, I have a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 2-year-old. We see the way they engage with technology and believe that the internet-connected computer is the greatest learning device ever created. I'm really excited that we're doing a lot to help digital literacy. But my kids are going to live the rest of their life online, right? What's being done to help promote digital citizenship?
Ha ha ha.
I mean, what's really interesting, that's such a good question, because what happens right now are a lot of the things that are required for kids to become good digital citizens are shut down in schools. We have to figure out how to help schools, help families, help parents, help community centers all have kind of a consolidated or a cohesive strategy for helping kids become good digital citizens. They need access, and it's been kind of this dark alley. Kids kind of create their MySpace page or they get into Facebook, and really they're the CEO of their own personal brand, but they're kind of doing it in this dark alley. So we need to shine a big old spotlight on that and help all the adults, whether they know the technical stuff, they are wiser than children, and they need to be involved and helping. So it's incredibly important.
One of the most important decisions that we made at Facebook early on was that we were actually not going to tolerate attacks on individuals, and that we were going to stand up as a company and have that as part of our terms of service, that we'll take people's accounts down for attacking other kids. That became especially important as we expanded into high schools, because high school kids can be pretty mean. Dealing with cyberbullying and that as an internet safety issue has been one of the more important things that we've done. Obviously, worries about online predators incredibly significant. Other possibilities of things that can go wrong. It's important to think about how you architect into structures ways that push people towards more pro-social behavior. And we decided ultimately, as we discussed internally, that we were comfortable doing that it was our role in part to try to drive people towards a better digital citizenship.
Julius, you get the last word.
Sure. Actually, this is I'm glad you raised this topic, because when when a lot of people think about a broadband future for the country, they tend to focus on one particular benefit that could potentially bring. The challenge that we've taken on ourselves at the FCC, and that Congress has instructed us to pursue, is to look at the full range of benefits from a ubiquitously connected world and develop strategies to pursue them. And so when we look at it, we actually see 3 broad buckets of benefits for the country. One, economic. If we want to be globally competitive in the 21st century, our broadband infrastructure, if robust, open, and ubiquitous, will be our engine for economic growth, job creation, and ongoing innovation economically. Second, broadband has the opportunity, we've talked about some of these benefits today, to help solve some of our most pressing social problems. Education, we've talked about today, and with Secretary Duncan, we have, and the incredible team that he's brought into the education department. How could you not be excited about the road ahead? Healthcare, energy, public safety, all of these goals that we share as a country will benefit from a proper broadband infrastructure available to all. Better services, lower costs. But the third area that sometimes is overlooked, and you mentioned it, and I'm glad you did, are the ways that a ubiquitously connected America through broadband can promote civic engagement and can help us fulfill some of the dreams of our Constitution in a 21st century democracy. So that is something that we're looking at as well, and that we continue to welcome input on, which is how can we make sure that our broadband infrastructure is used to further the great goals of our democracy. So I'm glad that you raised that.
And Mandeep, just to sum it up, first of all, 2 points. First, I remember when my colleague Linda Birch came to me a year and a half ago and said, we got to start talking about digital citizenship. And I said, no one will ever care about the term digital citizenship. That is some academic term no one will care about. Listen, I hope it isn't just people in this room who care about digital citizenship, because if we can make that part of this culture, everything will change. The second thing I'd say are that 3 people who can actually really make it part of the culture are sitting right here on the stage today, and everybody in this audience. But if we get leadership at the federal level from the Department of Ed and the FCC, and these are the guys who are running it, and then someone like Chris becomes the Attorney General of California and hammers away at the biggest state in the United States. Last time I checked, there are a few kids and families who live in the state of California who ought to learn a little about digital citizenship and literacy. Then a lot of the stuff we've been talking about for the entire day, and that we will be talking about through the rest of the afternoon, really could happen. So it's an extraordinary panel. Thank you all for making time out of your busy days to come, and thank you guys for the audience. Okay, onward and upward.